welcome back to the 3 Men in a Closet podcast. Today we are going to be talking about who the best Batman villain is, besides Joker, of course, right? Ian, who do you think the best Batman villain is?
Well, in my opinion, it's this villain called Professor Pig, who shows up in Batman and Robin #1 as a reoccurring character, and his first appearance is a corpse in number 666, but he's not too prevalent in that one. His backstory is he was a scientist named Laszlo Valentine, and he suffered a schizophrenic breakdown that led him to become a supervillain who wears a pig mask called Professor Pig.
Nice. Okay, Tristan, who do you think is the best Batman villain?
Obviously, besides Joker, as you said, I gotta say it's probably Deadshot.
Okay.
I mean, a little bit about his life. I mean, he was in the army. He was trained as a sniper. He you know how army can mess with your mind. After that, he still had the will to an urge to shoot and just wanted to get back into that lifestyle. So he became a gun for hire. He traveled around. He became a hired assassin in Europe and South America, staying pretty unknown to authorities, but gaining a pretty nice reputation.
Right.
Now he went to He took residence in Gotham City and hires an assistant to get him to get used to everything. Now I'm not sure. It wasn't explained if that was he had a hit that he had to shoot someone there, but he just showed up at Gotham City, started wreaking havoc, and he was defeated by Batman twice.
Ooh.
Because he was defeated once, sent to jail, broke out, wanted to make his name, wanted to get revenge,
Right.
failed. So after that, he left Gotham, and he was scooped up by Task Force X, which was known better as the Suicide Squad, and he's been doing a lot to make his to just be a better person for his wife and child.
Right. Okay, so this may sound a little goofy or controversial, but personally, I think the best Batman villain is Condiment King.
And why could that be? I mean, he shoots.
Okay.
He shoots sauce.
Yeah, okay, but seriously, Condiment King is best known for his comedic relief, right? Not many people would go to a movie that, has, no humor in it. Not gonna go to maybe a Batman movie where he's just beating up people and there's not a single joke.
Yeah,
but
that's funny.
But
no, that's cool.
Right. But you got Condiment King. He's ketchup, mustard, right? He's out here. He's cool with it, right? So Buddy Sandler is Condiment King's real name in the show, and Mitchell Mayo, which is kind of ironic, that's his name in the comics, right?
What is it with DC and all these same letter names?
I don't know.
My bad.
No, it's fine.
Keep going. My bad. This is your segment. You got this.
Right.
You go.
So Mitchell Mayo, he's a renowned stand-up comedian. He's known for this stuff, and so one night he's doing a routine. He's doing a show, but this also happens to be the night that Joker is doing his own little show, but Mitchell Mayo took all of the audience and they all went to his thing instead of the Joker's. The Joker was really just pissed off, right? And so Joker naturally, as one does, kidnaps Mitchell Mayo, brainwashes him using somebody's equipment, and brainwashes him, hypnotizes him into Condiment King, ketchup, mustard, mayo, relish, right? So now he's just wrecking havoc around town, getting beat up by Batman, but he truly is an amazing villain.
Alright, sorry to stop you here. Is hot sauce one of the condiments?
It is. It's also one of his primary weapons.
Ooh.
So we're going to get back to this right after this short commercial break. Are you tired of bottles and bottles of mustard at summer grill outs? Everybody bringing their own bottle of ketchup? Barbecue? Are you tired of mayo in general? Well, you are going to relish this. The newest invention out of the labs of Heinz is a fantastical, amazing, monumental, condiment gun. This amazing invention is the solution to all condiment issues that anyone may have. Eject 4 different condiments with this rotating phenomenon. Includes a backpack with 4 condiment containers, 1 rotating condiment minigun, and 4 condiment hoses. Find the new condiment gun at all Walmarts across the country. Warning, do not shoot other people. May cause anaphylactic shock. Do not use with hot sauce. May cause stains.
Do you want to become the perfect human being? Do you want to become an animal-human hybrid? Do you want to be the next step in a huge scientific discovery? Come down to Professor Pig's surgery room, a new surgery room with a new doctor who's clearing the way for many scientific discoveries. Become what he calls a Dollatron, and Professor Pig will cleanse you.
Disclaimer. Do not take procedure if allergic to being an animal. May cause symptoms of mind controlling, doing Professor Pig's dirty work, and taking over Gotham.
Say, let's have a hypothetical situation here. So you're incredibly rich, you're doing some kind of concerning things around town, and somebody, maybe a journalist, maybe a politician, is onto you. Well, we have the guy for you. Floyd Lawton, better known as Deadshot, is a assassin for hire. He can kill anybody you want. You know that pesky journalist Ronald J. John that is going after your cartel business? Be gone in an instant. He, with a custom AR-15, wrist-mounted miniguns, and several cool features in his helmet, he can get the job done almost immediately. As being part of the Army, he has pinpoint accuracy, plus he has infrared vision, electric shock, he has binoculars, and he has a jetpack attached to his metal suit that, can get him traveling from one place to another in almost no time. Only thing I have to say before this commercial ends is that he doesn't do any jobs in Gotham. He did not specify exactly why, but hey, you're the one paying him money. So, have a good day.
Okay, welcome back to 3 Men in a Closet. And as we said before, we are trying to decide who is the best Batman villain. I myself like the odds for Condiment King. Tristan over here, he likes Deadshot.
Pretty confident, I say.
And Ian right here, he likes Professor Pig, a dude with a pig face. Okay, so Ian, take it away.
Well, I think Professor Pig, in my opinion, is one of the best characters. Let me get a quote from writer Grant Morrison. Grant Morrison stated, "A new Batman villain must have a gimmick, creepiness, a distinctive look. You kind of evolve those themes into new forms." Obviously, that perfectly describes Professor Pig. He's a gimmick, he's a scientist, creepiness, he has a pig mask on his face, and he has a distinctive look, pig face, right?
Right.
So he has that distinctive look, and he's got that features about him, because he's a scientist.
Okay. So, Condiment King, he's got all of those things, not the creepiness. He's got that distinctive look. He's got ketchup, he's got mustard, and he's got a rotating minigun of all the condiments, right? But he's just not that creepy. But sometimes you just don't need to be creepy, right?
Yeah, I guess you're right. But please repeat that quote for me, as I want to just repeat that quote for me, just so it can fit that in my memory.
Writer Grant Morrison stated a new Batman villain must have a gimmick, creepiness, a distinctive look. You kind of evolve those themes into new forms.
Alright, okay, so a creepiness, a gimmick, and a certain look, that was what it was? Alright, so for creepiness, while he doesn't fit your thing of he's mentally deranged, he has this giant pig mask, and he's a doctor with blood splattered on his coat or whatever. Yeah. He doesn't fit that, but I mean, come on, it's just himself. Just by himself, he is creepy. I mean, come on, an army sergeant with pinpoint accuracy that can travel silently and can shoot you from so far away, and you don't even know they're there. That concept is creepy. A distinct look. He has the famous Deadshot. He got the silver helmet, the red eye, and it was a creepy look. It was creepy, distinct look, and the other one was, please refresh. Gimmick. Guns. I mean, come on, this man, AR-15, wrist-mounted miniguns. He's shot people with flare guns, anti-tank rifles, muskets, potato cannons.
Yeah.
Like he has
Potato cannon.
so many different kinds of guns. That's just the thing. He's Army, Marines.
He is gone.
He is literally a human.
Right.
Like he's like Boba Fett. You know, he has like stuff on his wrist. Bet you could throw something on that jetpack of his.
Right.
But he's just the Boba Fett of the DC universe.
Okay, that's a pretty good argument.
And here's another thing. He has the gimmick, but his story is really nice too. He has a wife and he has a child. They're divorced. You know, he gets custody. And stuff. But he's trying to be a better person. He was going through a dark time. He's going after Batman. He's going after these people. But the Suicide Squad has changed all that. Task Force X. He's now. I don't want to say he's a hero now, but he's more like he's an anti-hero. He gets that line. He has questionable methods, but he's going for a goal. He's trying to better himself for his daughter. So he was a good villain because he was, he's an assassin for hire. That concept is really cool. And he's a good character because he's just trying to be a better person.
Yeah.
Well, if we're going to talk about abilities, one of my favorite abilities from Professor Pig is that, and one of his biggest abilities is that he is an obsessive perfectionist. He sees human beings as broken individuals. So what he does is he commonly kidnaps people and uses surgery and chemicals to permanently change them into mind-controlled automatons known as Dolatrons. So basically, I believe it's
a good thing.
I think it's a good ability to have because he can take over Gotham, and that's and that can cause a huge issue with Batman, and it's a really interesting opposition for Batman.
Wouldn't you notice a dude walking by you with a cow head or pooping eggs? Like, wouldn't you notice that? Like, how are they going to be very sneaky in taking over if they just have like?
I mean, I guess
a head
like
of a cow.
helping
Professor
him.
Pig works in the underworld.
Yeah, like
so they're good at like getting
in
places.
Like the underworld, as in HE double hockey sticks, or like in the sewers. Like which one?
He works as like he's a gang leader. Like
yeah. Like
so in the sewers.
He could helping his point is the only time I'll ever.
So he's like the evil Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is what he does basically.
If you want to word it that way.
Okay. I want to word it that way.
I think he's like the evil he's the evil leader who just sends the turtles to go out.
Yeah.
I'm sure he got one of them, kidnapped one random person off the street and just said, "Hey, do your thing for me." That's a possibility of what he could have done. I mean, hey, I researched Deadshot, you researched Pig, but I mean,
right.
I mean, I can see it's a pretty valid ability.
Yeah. I mean, personally, for abilities, Condiment King doesn't have any, right? But he causes chaos. That's his pure. That's what makes a good villain. They're relatable.
The Joker, so
right, they're relatable, and he has a lot in common with Harley Quinn also. So he kind of moves up there. Like he is like hypnotized by the Joker, and Harley Quinn is kind of along that, not quite, but they have some things in common, right? But Condiment King, one of my favorite things about him is one time he mixed up a concoction so incredibly awful that it gave Robin, it gave Blue Beetle, and it gave Black Canary all anaphylactic shock. Now, the definition of anaphylactic shock is when the immune system releases a flood of chemicals that can cause the body to go into shock. Your blood pressure drops suddenly, the airways narrow, blocking your breathing, and then your pulse may be fast and weak, and you may have a skin rash, and you could also get nauseous and vomit. And so that, I just thought that was funny, because have you ever heard of the game Sacrificial Sauce or Suicidal Sauce, where you just
sounds familiar, but I can't say
where you just like mix everything, like you're in a lunchroom and you just mix everything together and like take a shot of it? That's basically what he did, but it's like the deadly version, right? One time he like pressurized his gun so much that it like knocked back so bad it just like blew people across the room. And while he may not keep people up at night, like he may not keep Batman up at night thinking about how he's gonna take Condiment King down, he will keep Alfred up at night, cleaning the mustard stains out of Batman's super suit.
Oh my god.
And I think, when
Oh
you
my
said
God.
that he doesn't have any creepiness, I think the fact that he's using sauce as his
The fact that
weapon,
you're crazy.
just an
Yeah.
everyday item, and weaponizing it is
Right.
so creepy.
The
Like,
fact that you took the fact that he had that and was like, this sounds like a great idea for a weapon, that's just like
Except
concerning to like a point where it's like, yeah, that's
he
kinda
didn't really. He got hypnotized by Joker, like I said earlier, and Joker's like, I'm gonna take this half-baked idea here. Take some ketchup, squirt it at people. That's your weapon. Like it was really just a half-baked idea by Joker.
creepy.
Yeah, and I think a couple ideas, a couple points I would like to put out there that kind of supports all of us is that one of the characteristics of a good villain is he has many of the same characteristics of the hero. But
And they're also relatable,
Yeah.
and you can understand what they're
Yeah.
going
But they're
Yeah.
misdirected. So, for
Right.
example, for Professor Pig, Batman and when we read the comic, what was it? The
Dark Knight.
The Dark Knight Returns.
Yeah.
In the first part of it, he wants to figure out if he can fix himself by trying to see if he can fix that villain, right?
Yeah.
And I think he kind of has this. Batman has this side on him that's like creepy and that's unresolved. Same as Professor Pig. He's
Yeah.
crazy. He's schizophrenic.
If you saw the 2023 Batman, a large part of that, I mean, it could have just been the way that they film it, but a large part of that idea was everything was so dark and gritty. There's this one scene where he just shows up to a gang of Joker thugs. He just beats the ever-loving shit out of one of them, and they all running. And I'm not meaning
Watch
they
the
put
language.
my bad, but it's just it's not oh, I punched you twice in the face, you're knocked out. I mean you're knocked out on the ground. I'm just crushing your skull in at this point.
Right.
And so that's everyone's oh my god, it's Batman. He's here to save me. But I mean, if you take some individual actions he does and just isolate it, or you put it on a villain like Deadshot beating the ever-loving crap out of somebody, that turns him into a villain.
Right, I wouldn't put it past Batman to punt a child.
Yeah.
Yes, that is. I'm sure there's somewhere on the internet you can find that.
Yeah. And my last point I would like to point out is good villains. They don't sit around. They go out and make things happen. And I
Yeah.
think that's just something that all of our villains do.
My personal.
I mean, yours has to kidnap people.
Yeah, it kidnaps people, and it's literally using people to take over Gotham.
Mine
Okay.
is an assassin. Yours, I mean, there's not
Okay.
much you can do from sauce from afar. I'm
But
just putting that out.
the-
Putting that out there.
He has done one thing at least, right? Earlier, Ian asked me, hey, is hot sauce one of the condiments? My answer was yes. Condiment King uses a hot sauce that has a Scoville level of 100,000, which is insanely high, and you will burn your face off, right? If you've ever seen the show Hot Ones, they'll eat stuff like that, and they get destroyed on it, right?
Not much of a hot person. It's
Right,
interesting.
so the first time Condiment King was ever appeared in public, he was in a fancy restaurant, he was jumping up on tables, right?
Doing
And
stuff.
he's like, fear me, fear the ketchup, fear the mustard. He was squirting ketchup and mustard in fancy people's clothes, right?
No,
and-
my $7,000
and when they-
Calvin Klein.
Right, when they laughed at him, he's like, alright, screw you, here's some hot sauce, and he squirted it in their eyes, and that
Oh!
Yeah,
oh, my
and-
Lord.
have you ever heard the phrase oh, don't touch your eyes, don't touch your eyes,
Yeah, of
right?
course.
They touched their eyes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Alright, I think that I've made all the points I wanted to make. Are you two pretty good? Or?
Yeah, I mean, only thing I gotta say is that the, I remember you said something, can't remember exactly what you said, but you said something about how, they're similar to Batman, and they're misdirected. Well, I gotta say, what makes Deadshot a really good villain is he was misdirected, but he's making his way back. He's slowly pushing himself back on that right path. It might
that's
be
good.
slow, because I mean he still he shoots people. You can't exactly get a great result from shooting people, but still,
Right.
I mean that's what he's used to. But he has a more inline mindset.
Yeah.
More parallel with Batman than it was earlier. So that's the last point I can say, just to say why my character has to be one of the better, the best, maybe not Joker, but still a very, very good option for good villain.
And Mitchell Mayo, Buddy Stanler, he's just a normal dude. He's a stand-up comedian, right? He's not an evil guy. He's a good dude. It's what Joker did to him that's the real evil part, and so
It's like Nate Bargatze getting
right.
mind controlled by Saddam Hussein.
It's the same exact...
that is crazy, but still,
It's
right?
the same exact thing that happened to my character.
It's kind of like a parallel to Joker's evil,
Right.
and it's just all mental. It's
Harley Quinn is a result of Joker,
and
Mitchell
so
Mayo
is Condiment King.
Yeah, and my character, Laszlo Valentine, which was his normal name before he took on Professor Pig, he was just a scientist who suffered a schizophrenic breakdown. Before, he was just a good guy that was a scientist.
Yeah, I mean, most scientists are. They're just trying
Most
to
of these villains start out as a decent, good human.
Yeah, trying to get in the army. You don't go into the army just because you want to shoot people. I mean, technically. But, hey, you want to go into the army because you're trying to save America. And you're trying to do that. So, yeah, they'll all start out good and slowly get twisted.
Yeah, and I think the last remark I would like to just end off with is, I think, just like the thing that my character is differentiated by all of these is like he full on takes over the whole of Gotham.
Right.
I think that's a really
That
good
is.
point.
That's a good point.
That's a good point. Like, we're going, Deadshot's just going after Batman.
Deadshot takes over the fear. Professor Pig takes
over the
over
city,
all of Gotham.
And you take over the condiments.
We take over the condiments here in Condiment King Land, but we also take over the hearts. Alright, meet us next time on 3 Men in a Closet, and thanks for listening.